Hey everybody, welcome to my first lesson on my new YouTube channel, Dwayne Allen Guitar Concepts. And this is going to be the first one that I'm going to put on the channel. And I'm going to be picking probably one of the most boring, basic ideas to possibly do as a first lesson. But there's a reason I'm picking this one, okay? We're going to talk about learning the names of the notes on the fretboard, okay? Why are we starting with this? Well, this is an area that I feel that many guitar players are a little bit weak on, maybe very weak on. Okay, it's one of those things that if I have a student that's been playing for a while and they come in for their first lesson and I kind of get to know them and see, what do you know, play for me, this kind of thing, I'll ask them, do you know the names of the notes on the fretboard? And I might say to them, what's the name of this note here? And they'll say, C sharp or whatever, but it takes them a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds or something. That's no good. When you play the guitar, you need to know the names of the notes that you're playing. Now, are there great players that aren't good at that? Of course there are. But this is an area that you really should know if you're going to really try to better yourself as a knowledgeable, educated guitar player, whatever that means. But you really need to know what notes you're playing. And when I'm teaching a lot of the concepts that we're going to do on this channel, I don't want to go play the 5th fret of the 5th string. I want to say, hey, this is a D, and then here's an F over here. And this is something that you want to be good at because it'll just make learning a lot easier, okay? So a lot of guitar players, the way they learn this is actually they will get a chart off the internet and they'll just study it. It'll be like a long guitar neck and they'll have all the notes written out. And that's one way to learn it, but I feel like that's kind of a crutch if you don't understand how the notes work with each other. And if you forget a couple of the notes, it may be hard for you to remember how to do it. The way that I teach my students is I teach them this little concept and then they practice it every day. And before you know it, you memorize it and you know it quickly and you know it forever and then you're done. You know it forever, okay? So, couple things we need to know before we get started. You need to know the names of all your strings. I'm assuming most of you know that, okay? But if you don't, E, A, D, G, B, E. Okay, those are the names of all your strings if you're in standard tuning. A couple other concepts. A sharp and a flat. What's a sharp? Okay, a sharp is a half step above a natural note. So if this is a C note, a half step on the guitar is 1 fret. So a half step above C would be this note. That's called a C sharp. So anytime you do a note that's a half step above a natural note, that's a sharp. G, G sharp. Got the idea? Okay. So let's talk about what is the musical alphabet in music. So remember in music, it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then there's no H, I, J, K. It just starts over at A. So those are the only notes you're going to have in music, A through G. Okay. Now, the way I'm going to teach the notes on the fretboard is we're going to start with an open string. I'm going to pick the A string since it starts with the letter A. We're going to go chromatically up the neck, fret by fret, and it's going to go in alphabetical order. And the way it's going to go is a note, the sharp of that note, the next note, the sharp of that note, and so on. Okay? Now, so let me do the A string for you. And you're going to notice that a couple of them don't sharp, but I want to give you the idea first. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay? Now, if you were looking carefully and paying attention, you notice that I didn't give B a sharp and I didn't give E a sharp, okay? Most of the time in music, B and E do not sharp. Now, you can say, yeah, but certain keys they do. Yes, but a lot of the times they don't. So for our purposes for now, E and B do not sharp. So when you get to a B, you go straight to a C. When you get to an E, you go straight to an F. So you're going to go like this. A sharp, B doesn't sharp, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E doesn't sharp, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Okay? Easy, right? I stopped at the 12th fret because it starts over there. That's what we call the octave. Now, I could have kept going, A sharp, B, C, and you might want to do that too, but we're going to stop at the 12th fret for now, okay? So those are all the notes in the A string, okay? We just went alphabetically up, every note sharps except for E and B. That's going to be the same rule for every string. The only difference is each string starts with its whatever its name is. So the E string is going to start on E. Let me do the E string for you. E, F, E doesn't sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B doesn't sharp, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. You got the idea? Okay, so there's your E string, there's your A string, right? If you know those two, you're already off to a good start because a lot of your bar chords, the roots are on those strings, so you can move the chord up and down, okay? D string, G string, B string, same concept, just different starting point. So D, D sharp, E doesn't sharp, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B doesn't sharp, C, C sharp, D, okay? Now, right now that might be a little too fast for you, but if you get the concept, what you do is you just go up every string every day and say it out loud. Over time, you will start to memorize them and you'll be very quick. Even after a week, if I said to you, what note is this? You can at least figure it out. You can go G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp. That's a C sharp. You'll be able to do it. You won't be guessing, okay? Those are the sharps. Now, how do we do the flats? The flats are going to be a little different. We're actually going to start at the 12th fret and we're going to go backwards in the alphabet, okay? And remember how we said E and B don't sharp? Well, now E and B will flat, but the notes that won't usually flat are F and C. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. So E, E flat, D, D flat, we're going backwards, C doesn't flat, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F doesn't flat, E. You got it? That's the flats on the E string. Any note that's a sharp can also be a flat, and we call that enharmonic. So if it's like E, F, F sharp, right? Or you're going backwards, G, G flat, so that note is an F sharp or a G flat, okay? All right. And you can call any of those notes either one, and people ask me, how do I know what to call it? Well, if you're just calling them out, it could be either name, but if you're in a certain key, that would be an F sharp. If you're in another key, it would be a G flat. So it depends upon what key you're in, okay? Let's do the A string. A flat, G, G flat, F doesn't flat, E flat, D flat, C doesn't flat, B flat, A. You got that? There's the A string. Then you can do it on the D string. Here's what I would do. Here's how I'd recommend practicing it. You go up the E string, or any string, up sharps, down flats, up sharps, down flats, up sharps, down flats. Do that every day when you're practicing. If you don't have your neck perfectly mastered note-wise, this will get you there, okay? Further concepts that I'm going to talk about, there'll be other basics that you should know. But if you're going to learn guitar, you should definitely familiarize yourself with real basic information, like what is a quarter note, what is a half note, what is a staff, what is a sharp, we talked about that, what is a flat. Try to familiarize yourselves with basic theory. On this channel, I'm not going to really do theory lessons because I want it to be more guitar related. If you look on YouTube, there's a million lessons on basic theory. I would watch those and learn those if you don't know basic theory. And obviously this lesson, as I described in my introductory video, every lesson is going to be either in a beginner area, intermediate area, and advanced area. This is a beginner lesson, okay? So this is one area that you can work on with the guitar. There's a million others, but this is one that I think is very important. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so. And I look forward to sending more videos in the future. Have a great day. Thanks.